I think I have one of the more unique stories, not the method I used to meet this girl, but the circumstances surrounding it. Okay, so let's take it from the beginning. My buddy Bill took off out of town to go to Mexico, and at that time I didn't have internet service at my house, so I went to his house to use his internet. And let me start by saying I have no negative issues with people that do online dating. So I go to Bill's house and I'm on Plenty of Fish, and as soon as I get on, I notice there's a message from a girl, like a direct message, and I write, you know, I look at her, she's very attractive, and it was a good message, so I write her back, and it just so happens that she was online at the time, and one thing led to another. We're messaging back and forth for about an hour. And so I'm like, hey man, you know, I think this was on a Saturday, but I don't remember what day it was, but it was like a weekend. And so I said, hey, what do you happen to be doing? Do you want to meet tonight for a drink? And just word of advice when you're first date with a girl, keep it simple, meet for a drink, don't do dinner, don't do anything complicated, sit at the bar. Works great. So she's like, yeah, I'm available tonight to meet for a drink. And I'm like, great, let's do it. I said, well, I'm in my buddy's house right now. I'm gonna go home, and I want to give you a phone call first because I like to get a feel for someone's voice and their personality before I show up. So I go home and I give her a call, and the first thing she says to me is, are you Bill's friend Scott? Just so you know, my name is Scott. I kind of paused for a second and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, I've heard so much about you, this and that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So she proceeded to tell me, she goes, I'm the girl that was dating your friend Bill. You know, we went on a couple dates, and he told me about you periodically. And I had heard about her too. Bill was telling me he met this girl down in Huntington Beach at a bar, and she was really friendly, and you know, but every time he meets a girl that's like not his ideal height or something like that, and if he thinks me and her are a good match, he always wants to introduce me to her. So while the couple times they dated, one time, you know, he was asking me to come along. I think one time it was going to see a movie. Maybe it was to go bowling another time. Let's go to the front here. Got not time for that. And he was just telling me she was this cool chick and kind of a taller blonde, like 5'8", whatever. But every time he asked me to hang out with them, I could never make it. And anyhow, so things don't work out with them, you know. They, like I said, it was a very brief time. He even drove me to her house one time to pick up a pair of flip-flops he'd left there, and she left them outside for him. Oh, there's that same cop. He's probably looking at my helmet like, what in the world? Not even looking at me. Good. So getting back to me and her going out. So yeah, so she drops that bomb on me, and I'm just like, unbelievable. I can't believe that this girl that Bill's been telling me about, that he wants me to meet, somehow we just so happened to connect on Plenty of Fish, like literally like within a week after, you know, they decided it's just not going to work. All the thousands of girls and guys on there, we connected. So anyways, we scheduled to meet at TGI Fridays, just at the bar out by her house. She lived about 15 to 20 minutes away from me. And I always, okay, here's another thing I do, or we used to do when I was single. when I would meet a girl, I would get to the bar about 15 minutes early. I would order me my Jack and Coke and a shot. And I would pound the shot, and then I'd just start drinking my Jack and Coke. So usually by the time the girl got there, I'm feeling loose, you know. It just takes that edge off, you know. There's always that edge that we all experience meeting a new person. Look at these trees, man. That's nice. So anyways, she comes walking in, and she's really attractive, and you know, we basically hit it off. So we finish off the date, and then Bill gets back from Mexico, and he happened to come over to my house a couple days later, and we're kicking it on the couch, and I made sure I took a picture with this girl before the date ended, because I'm like, I'm gonna freak Billy out. He's gonna see this picture and be like, what the frick, man? So sure enough, he comes over, I pull out my phone, I go, hey, check out this girl I met while you were in Mexico. And I pull my phone out and I show it to him, and the look on his face, I wish I would have got a picture of it. The most baffling, confused, like, what in the world, how are you, and okay, I'm just gonna tell you right now, her name's Kimberly. Goes, how the heck do you have a picture with Kimberly? I go, and I told him the story. I go, hey man, we met on Plenty of Fish, and we had a date, you know, a couple days ago, and everything's great, and this and that. And of course he's totally cool with it, because he wanted me to meet her the whole time anyways. But I just think it's such a bizarre story that, I mean, he used to tell her stories about me, and she would be like, you know, I would really like to meet this guy, you know, like she wanted to meet me before she ever met me, just by what Bill was telling her, because, you know, I'm a good guy, you know. And then just to happen to meet me like days later on Plenty of Fish is just, it's bizarre to me. Like, talk about fate at the highest level. So that was about just like 8 years ago, and I ended up marrying Kimberly about 2.5 years ago. So she's currently my wife. We dated, like, you know, for about 5 years. We were in different locations. She lived about 15 miles away, and her son was still going to school out there, and she wanted to stay out in that area until he went to start going to high school. So yeah, and then I bought us a house. Well, we bought it together. For 5 years I lived in it by myself. She'd come out on the weekends, and then she moved in about 2.5 years ago. So Plenty of Fish introduced me to probably the most amazing woman that I could ever meet. So anybody that wants to down talk online dating, you know, you're not doing it right. It's your own fault. I mean, yeah, you're gonna go through your share of duds. I did too, and that's just part of life. But the odds of meeting somebody on the occasion that you happen to go out with your friends that you click with and clicks with you is pretty minimal. So I figured I'm gonna up the ante and go online, and you know, you just gotta be diligent and fight your way just fight your way along until you meet the right one. Online date. What the dude, something just smacked my helmet loud. Well, anyhow, that's it. Make sure if you guys subscribe to me, click that notification bell. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys this Sunday. This Sunday's video is about me learning how to do rolling burnouts on my bike. This should be interesting. I might completely fail. So see you guys Sunday.